Nguyelo numandenga, nguyelo numandenga, nguyelo umandenga.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AfricaNEV podcast. As usual, my name is Gad Ashiago, a moderator of AfricaNEV. And on this podcast, we talk about sustainable energy and transport for Africa. And today, I have a very special guest. His name is Harigovind Kaninghat.
Yes.
I hope I got it correct. Harigovind Kaninghat.
You pronounce this much better than what I usually get. So,
oh, okay.
A+ for that. Yeah.
I'm guessing it's an Arabic name. So
no, I'm Indian.
Indian. Okay.
Yeah.
But either way, there's some Sanskrit involved. So
yeah.
It's an educated guess. Anyway.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So Harigovind is the CEO of OneMoto.
General manager, yeah. CEO is Mr. Adam Ridgway.
Okay, general manager of OneMoto. So welcome to the AfricaNEV podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right. So can you tell us a bit about yourself? How did you get into the sustainable energy and transport space?
Right. So to give you a very brief sort of history about OneMoto as a brand, which is one of the main reasons I got into the EV space. I've been a motorhead all my life from when I was a kid, all about cars and motorcycles and all that. And I've been involved in the advertising field for about 11 years before I entered electric mobility, so to speak. And I've been working with my partner, Mr. Adam Ridgway, on in the advertising space. And then he sort of found this gap in the market. And to give you a fair idea about it, OneMoto as a brand is focused mainly on the B2B sector, which is the delivery and the courier, the last mile delivery, that sort of a market. So what we found initially when we had this first seed of thought was that there aren't any brands or manufacturers that are focused into this particular space. As you might have seen in the presentation that I did on Smart Mobility Africa, that we believe EVs need to be designed to purpose, and our purpose is B2B, right? So we started OneMoto, or the seed of thought was planted in about 2017, and from then on was the R&D phase where we worked with one of the major delivery aggregators here in the UAE, and we figured out what exactly they would be looking at in terms of an alternative to an internal combustion motorcycle, right? Because their delivery riders are mainly on petrol-powered motorcycles as of now, and they're looking at transitioning into the electric fleet because they understand the value of sustainability and the damage that the economics also plays obviously that plays the most important part. But with everything that's going on in the world over the past few years and the climate change and all that, and they have the sustainability mandate wherein they are very much interested in looking into the EV space. But the fact of the matter is that there haven't been any major players in the EV market. And in the UAE, we can be proud to say that we are the only suppliers for electric motorcycles targeted to the B2B sector, which means basically our bikes are built from the ground up with the delivery sector in mind. Now, we do have other B2C variants as well, but our main focus is B2B because that's where we believe that we can bring about the most impact, because most of the motorcycles, at least in the region, are used by the likes of delivery riders and courier bikes. So we sort of approached this aggregator in the early stages, and we've sort of figured out what they would need from an electric motorcycle, what sort of range, what sort of power, what sort of top speed, what's the carrying capacity they would need. And then we started working and tweaking, our models based on that. And what's finally happened is, as of December last year, is when we officially hard launched as a company, as OneMoto, the brand.
I think with the products.
Yes, products basically. And we launched here in the UAE and in the UK simultaneously. And what we've managed to do is we've managed to exceed the expectations of what the conversations that we had initially with these aggregators, where they were looking at a range of, let's say, 100 kilometers. And we've managed to exceed that and take it up to 150 kilometers and go one step beyond that, wherein we have swappable batteries. So basically, you run out of battery, you have another battery that's on charge, you just plug it in and off you go again. And the best part about that is we don't really need an infrastructure for charging, because our bikes, or as in, our entire fleet is designed to be charged using just a 3-pin socket that you can find anywhere, in the basement, in your house, anywhere. And all of our vehicles are built with the swappable battery concept in mind. So regardless of whether it's a delivery van, whether it's a delivery motorcycle, both of these products have swappable batteries. So like I said before, you run out of battery, just plug it in and replace it with another one. So that's where we are at right now. And we've managed to make sales and MOUs already in, despite the fact that the first half of 2020 is gone, the whole COVID way, which frankly has been a little bit of a benefit to us, because the uptake on delivery riders and delivery companies as such has been so huge that we've basically sold out
Stock. People are stuck in their houses.
We basically sold out everything, that all the stock, even the demo units that we've had until now. And now we've reached a stage where we are getting the next fleet in for demos and tests and such. So the interest that we've received from the market, at least here in the UAE, has been very, very overwhelming.
Okay. So thank you very much for that introduction. I think it was a bit comprehensive. So I'll just follow up with a series of questions for clarification.
Sure.
Now, does that mean that you make the bikes yourselves, as in OneMoto, or OneMoto has somebody contracts the manufacturing too? So you just do the design and then they do the manufacturing. How does that arrange?
That's a very good question. So we, as a business, we've built OneMoto to be very modular. And so have we, so are the products themselves. So what I mean by that is, let's say in the future where we have a new provider for a motor, we can just plug that particular motor in without having to change the entire formula that we worked so hard to build. So what we've done is basically, at present, the best place to manufacture EVs, sadly, is China, which is the only option. So they have a monopoly on that. So what we do is we've designed and developed the vehicles here in the UAE and in the UK, and we've contracted a factory in China to make these products exclusively for us. So when I say that,
so according to your specification and your design.
Sorry?
You contracted them to manufacture according to your specification, your design, and your requirements.
Exactly. Yes. So essentially, it's like what Apple do. I mean, they have their designs based in California, and they build it in China. So which is the same model. So in the future, if there are parts, I mean, we're just basically future-proofing ourselves. We cannot afford to be superseded by technology, which is exactly what,
rapidly.
Yeah. So,
okay. The next question I'll ask, since for now, your manufacturing plant is based in China, does that mean that you're using lithium iron phosphate batteries?
So we've got two kinds of batteries that we're using. So lithium ion the regular lithium-ion batteries are what we started off with, and we are slowly moving into the Li4 or lithium-ion phosphate batteries. What we're doing right now is testing the batteries out to make sure that they deliver the same kind of range. And also, since we are designing these vehicles with the UAE market in mind, we also have to make sure that these batteries work in the temperatures here, and the BMS and all that. So the 2021 fleet, which is set to release in around Jan, will all have lithium iron phosphate batteries. We're just going through the testing and certification phase to make sure they meet the criteria that we need. With that, the lithium ion batteries have been fulfilling right now. We understand that the lithium ion phosphate batteries are better as in terms of performance, and also holding the capacity of the battery for longer than the lithium ion variants do. And which is why we just want to make sure that when we claim that these do what we're saying, it delivers.
So basically, you're looking at the longevity, the longer cycle life of the lithium ion
cycles.
system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cost did not factor into that calculation.
Very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now let's come to the market. Now, at least you have given us some clarity about your production and your history. Why did you take an interest in Africa? What's your rationale?
So Africa is a growing market, and we can see that. I mean, one of our ESR mandates is to provide mobility throughout Africa, and sustainable mobility, with underlining that as such. And if you look at the market size, we're looking at around 1 to 1.5 million motorcycles being used in Africa. I mean, I could be wrong in the exact figures, but this is a very conservative figure that we've looked at. And from what I know, the electric mobility side of things is still in the very growth stages in Africa. We have a product that we believe in that has been tried and tested for the UAE market. So in terms of temperatures, this is one of the factors that affects the batteries and the performance of electric vehicles, right? So in terms of coping with the temperatures that you could expect, the variations in temperatures that you could expect in Africa, we know that our products can match that and exceed to a certain extent what is currently being offered in Africa. So we believe that putting all these things into consideration, Africa is without doubt a very important market in the future, and in the next few months that we should be focusing into. UAE seemed to be the logical first step, because that's where we've based all of our conversations from. And when you look at expanding into other markets, Africa was first on the list.
Okay. So now, from all that you told me this afternoon, it seems that the initial product was designed with the UAE in mind.
Yes.
How do you think that would translate into the African context? Not in terms of even like what you spoke about earlier, which is temperature, for example, but in terms of operations. One of the problems that we have in Africa is that things are designed for other markets. Then, because Africa is also a market, so let's just ship the things over. But when you look at some of the operational and the operational environment, it can be radically different. Okay.
Yep.
So how do you think you intend to solve that problem, or you just want to?
No. So that's a very good question, actually. So what we are planning to do, or rather our approach into Africa, would be to get anywhere, you have to build a market first, right? And the best way to build a market is to offer what products we already have. But the I wouldn't call it phase 2. I'd call it maybe phase 1.5, is to develop a bike that is built specifically for the African market, based on the learnings that we get through our initial sales in Africa. So like I said, we've already made a few sales within Africa. And one of the things that we're doing right now is, through the IoT devices built into our motorcycles, we're gathering data on what the usage is, and what are the kind of ranges we expect and all that. And what we're trying to do is take everything that we're learning from those tests, essentially, if you were to call it that, take essentially those and build a product that is built specifically for the African market. So, which would be in terms of, let's say, the kind of load that it bears, the kind of roads that it has to go through, battery life again, and the costs involved. Now, we do understand that the products that we currently have on offer might be of a bit of a premium to an average African customer. So what we are trying to do is make it as affordable as we can without compromising on the power and the range. Because if you don't have a vehicle that can do a range of 100 to 150 kilometers, I don't know how viable that would be for any market, let alone Africa. And in terms of the build quality of the vehicle, we need to make sure that, keeping costs in mind, we shouldn't be offering a product that cannot match up to the expectations that are there in the African market. So what we are doing right now is, through the sales that we have made as of now, and also what we are looking to make in the next few months, we're trying to learn as much as we can about how things work in the African market and tailor our next set of motorcycles to be made specifically for that. So let's say it's Africa today, it might be another continent, or it might be, let's say, India, that we'd be going through essentially the same steps. We offer what we have currently, learn about that market, build that market, and then make something tailored to that particular market. And by that, I mean, we're also looking at setting up manufacturing units in Africa, which would then help bring down the costs even more.
Good. Well, in terms of build quality, Africa, the main thing we're looking at is robustness. Because we have poor maintenance culture and our road metrics. I mean, we basically abuse mechanical devices.
Yeah, which is basically the same with any one of the main reasons for delivery is that the kind of usage that delivery riders have is extreme. It's very high. So an average customer, a B2C customer in any country, wouldn't put their vehicles to that much of a stress and through that much of use as a delivery motorcycle would. So again, through that delivery market, we are trying to expand into the average customer.
So now, for your entry into the African market, what is your strategy for somebody watching this? Because we are a community. Somebody watching this who's interested in mobility. Is it that you are looking for local partners to work with, or you are looking for local, let's say, courier companies who you sell to directly?
No.
I mean,
so
what's the model?
What we're, as a business, we don't really believe in holding stock. So what we are trying to do is, no one understands any market better than someone who's already there. So what we're trying to do is work or find strategic partnerships within Africa, within countries inside Africa, and they're the best people to run that side of things because they know that market better than we do, and they will always do. So
Okay.
together we build and grow the business.
Let me follow up. Now, for a strategic partner, what are you looking for in the ideal partner?
In layman's terms, a dealership.
Okay. So let's say
someone who,
No, please continue.
Yeah, someone who has access to that particular market, someone who knows how to get the products into the market and how to market these products within that that area or that region. And that's basically it. And that's exactly the same model that we used in the UAE as well. We're not the dealership here in the UAE. We have a partnership with a motorcycle dealership who know that particular side of the market much better than we do, in terms of at least in terms of the B2C customers. In terms of B2B customers, over here we have probably around 30 customers, and these are people that we've approached ourselves. But within any other market that we go to, Africa for example, it is a completely different ballgame, and we feel that people within the region would be far better equipped to take on those conversations and lead, and we just supply the products to them.
Okay, so let me break that down. In other words, first of all, you're looking for somebody who is already in the retail or distribution space. Must the person be in mobility, in transport in particular, or any kind of distribution business, an existing business?
So when I say strategic partnerships, again, I mean someone who understands the market. So whether it is someone who is currently involved in the mobility or the automotive sector, or whether who has the access to open doors to that sector.
Okay, so that is very clear. It's about the ability to unlock the market.
Yes, exactly.
No, now the next thing. What is the person's responsibilities and what are the requirements in terms of, financing, for example? Is a person required to maybe have the resources to buy so and so number of bicycles periodically, or what's the arrangement in terms of financing?
Okay, so I'll give you an example of how it works in the UAE, and this is a model that we are looking to translate into any region that we enter. So we as a company do not hold stock. We produce based on demand. So the dealership would then place orders with us based on what they think is a projected demand for that particular region, which obviously they would make payments for. So it is like they would buy the products from us and then they would sell it at a margin that would benefit themselves.
Okay. So there's no fixed margin.
It's not a fixed margin.
No, as in, let me paraphrase. Like a manufacturer recommended retail price. So maybe you are selling to the dealer at price, is it $10? So your recommended retail price is maybe $15. Of course, looking at the market, the dealer knows that he can sell at $20 and still make his money and hit his volume target. Fine. Or maybe I have to sell at $3. Sorry, at $13 and still make my money. Is there something like that in the offering?
Pretty much. So, like I said, the dealer would know that particular market better than us. So he would know what would be the ideal sort of cost that we can sell it at over there, and we can adjust the margins based on that. Obviously, we have to take into consideration our costs in producing these and manufacturing these vehicles, but then they would know what's the best rates to sell it at in the African market. So we can go either two ways. We can either suggest that you sell it at this particular rate, like you said, the manufacturer's suggested retail price, Or we could take their advice on what they think would be the ideal cost and then work out the margins based on that.
Okay. So are there, let's say, volume or loyalty discount? What I'm trying to say is maybe the more you order, the consignment, maybe the cost comes down. Or
yes,
or let's say the degree of regularity. So maybe we know that every month this customer, our dealer orders 20 bikes.
yeah,
And with time, the person is now ordering 30 bikes. And because the volume has increased, then the price comes down. Is there something like that?
Yes, pretty much. So based on volumes and also based on frequency of orders. Like, I wouldn't expect, let's say, a dealer to all of a sudden place an order for 1,000 bikes. That's a huge capex hit.
Okay.
So it could be in stunted or in segmented orders. But as in with any manufacturer, I think after a certain number of units, let's say it's about 10 units, that would mean that we can offer a discount on the price for that particular order. Okay. When you order something like 1 or 5 units, that's not something that's technically viable to offer a discount on that. Because
what is the minimum order quantity?
Minimum order quantity would ideally be 1 container, which would be around 50 bikes.
1 container is 50 bikes.
Yeah, around 50 bikes. So again, I'd have to confirm these details because it could vary based on things.
It doesn't matter.
But it's just a very rough estimate.
The idea is that anybody who's watching this podcast who is thinking about or considering partnering with OneMoto, they have a frame of reference.
Yes,
exactly. Idea of what to expect when they do get in touch with you. The next thing is, I think, sorry, I sort of lost my train of thoughts. But it happens. I think we are both tired because we had a marathon session.
A marathon day, yeah.
Yeah.
And you especially with moderating and all that. So
yeah. But it was fun. I think I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was. I mean, okay, let's not go there. Anyway, so I think I've had a clear idea. Now, yes, the question has come back. What is the average retail price that you recommend for one of your bicycles today in Africa?
Okay, so I can give you the prices that we've actually sold for at present. Okay. These might not be the ideal recommended prices.
Okay.
But
so I think hold on. Since you're looking for that, what I want you to do is the price. Give us the price, the range, the battery size, and the acceleration. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll do that in just 1 second. Break.
Yes. So you were coming to give us. Okay.
Yeah. So what the sales that we've made so far, we've sold at roughly the same cost that we are selling in any of the other markets, which is about 4,000 USD.
Okay.
$4,000. And if you look at the specs of this particular vehicle, we have a 4 kilowatt motor, Bosch motor, which has a 72 volts, 3.2 kilowatt rating. And the battery capacity is a 72 volts, 50 amp hours lithium ion battery as of now. But we're transitioning into 72 volts.
Okay.
72 volts, 50 amp hours lithium-ion battery as of now, and we're transitioning into the lithium-ion phosphate batteries in the next few months. And on a single charge, you can do about 150 to 160 kilometers with a top speed, a maximum speed of limited to 85 kilometers, because we believe, based on the range and speed equations, we believe these to be the sweet spot.
Okay.
To charge one of these batteries would take about 4 to 5 hours, with the option to quick charge to about 80% in about 1 hour. And
80% in 1 hour.
Yeah. And a full charge in about 4 to 5 hours.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it.
So does this cost include an extra battery, since they are designed to be swappable?
No, so it does not include an extra battery as of now. And like I said, we are working on bringing those costs down, because $4,000 is quite a bit of a hit in terms of price. But no, to answer your question, no, it does not include a second set of batteries for that.
Okay, so it's clear from looking at this, when I analyze, the product is designed specifically for exactly the market you said it was designed for.
Yeah.
The costs, we have to work on it.
Yes, of course, we understand.
But it has been very informative. I know we are both very tired, but it's something that we just ought to do. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having
your
me.
patience and forbearance.
No
after
worries.
8 hours and all that.
Yeah.
I believe that we'll be seeing you soon.
Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow we will
Tomorrow
be
at the event, and soon probably in person.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Very nice meeting you, and see you.
See you too.